Hey, I'm Ryan Braun-Duin.
And I'm Chris VanMeter.
And you are watching the Versus series on StarCityGames.com. Hey everyone, we are back for another Versus video, battling two more awesome monocolor decks against each other, sort of monocolor decks. I'm playing a mono-black deck built around Erebos' Titan and Liliana, Heretical Healer, and also Despoiler of Souls. So we'll see if a mid-rangey mono-black deck is going to be good here.
And I am on a mostly mono-blue Devotion deck, splashing for Dragonlord Ojutai and his command, since they're both very good for us to just be blue-white. Before we jump in and roll to see who goes first, we're going to plug the playmat here, Magic Meowagens, that you'll get from playing in the Origins pre-release here at the StarCityGames.com Game Center. So if you happen to be in the area or planning on coming, you'll get something like this absolutely free just for playing in each pre-release flight that you play in. However, if you're not able to make it in, make sure you play in your local pre-releases, and then you can order these online once the pre-release is over. We will be selling a limited number of them that you can get on our website.
Yep, and you are allowed to groan at the name. That is
Magic Meowagens.
You are allowed to do that. All right, so
good old high roll.
Yeah, let's do a classic high roll.
11.
7. All right.
So you would have lost the other game too.
I would have lost every game. Really?
I'll go first.
All right.
Okay. Let's see here. So for this hand, we're also using the new mulligan rolls too.
Okay.
In the videos.
Right. So if you mulligan, if you keep a hand that has less than starting hand size, so basically anything less than 7, you get to scry 1. And it's just 1. It doesn't matter if you mull to 4. It's still only scry 1, but just a nice way to, you know, smooth your draws when you mulligan.
And I think that I'm going to keep this hand. So we've got some decisions on how we're going to play it out, but I'm going to keep it.
Yeah, this hand's really awkward for me, but I'm going to keep as well.
Okay, so I think that I just want to actually lead on this. We're not really going to want to be playing this on turn 2 anyways, and so getting our attacks in is going to be fine. So we'll start with a Fairy Miscreant and pass.
Sure. I'm going to start with a Blood-Soaked Champion and pass it back as well.
Alright, so we draw a card. It's not what we're looking for. We'll scry. At this point, we don't need this. We're just looking for a land. So we'll bottom that. We'll battle for 1 and pass.
You're going to be battling for 1, but I'm probably going to be battling for Zendikar. So just want to point that out. I'll hit you for 2.
18.
And then I will Thoughtseize you. I'll go to 17. All right. There's some... wow. Some stuff in this hand. So I don't think that we're going to be able to beat that Mizium Meddler.
So you have a Bile-Blight for the Harbinger?
I don't think a 1/4 is what our Blood-Soaked Champion's looking for. So we're going to take that guy.
The old Thoughtseize the Mizium Meddler.
Yeah.
I used the Meddler to target the Thoughtseize.
All right. It works. Go.
All right, and you're at 17?
I'm at 17.
All right, well, we didn't draw a land, so we'll just bounce your champion, battle for 1.
16.
Go ahead.
All right, well, I'm just going to play...
Liliana.
Yep, the Lils. You're up.
All right. So we draw. It's also not a land, so I'll attack for 1.
I'll be at 15.
Pass the turn.
All right, so it costs 4 mana to flash that thing in. So I think we can...
Flash what thing in?
That Harbinger of the Tides.
Oh, yeah.
You have to pay 2 extra. We'll attack for 2. Alright, so I'll go to 17, you go to 16.
Yep. Oh, she has lifelink, too. Jeez.
Yep. And I will play Liliana, actually. So, Legend Rule will happen, we'll sacrifice this. This one's going to flip into a Liliana Defiant Necromancer. I'll get a Samuel Black token. And then, let's see. I get to decide how I want to proceed. I think that we'll just do each player discards a card. And I think I'm just going to choose this, actually. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we want to write these down so I can
Yeah,
Scoop 'em
so you
up and
have
shuffle 'em.
Harbinger, Thassa, and Ojutai.
Yep. I'll choose that.
Alright, I've chosen a Blood-Soaked Champion. Your go.
You have 3 cards.
3.
All right. I don't think that I want to trade off this Harbinger. So we'll attack here.
Okay, she'll drop to 4.
And then we're going to fetch.
And you'll be at 15.
Yep.
So say Thassa, God of the Sea.
I think so. So I also could play this, but I think that I would just rather get this Thassa in play.
Sure.
And then I'll pass the turn.
Alright, I will draw. That seems pretty good. I don't actually know if I want to use it yet, though. I actually think I do. So I'll Sign and Blood myself at 15. 1, 2. And let's both discard a card. Discard a Swamp, discard another Harbinger.
Mm-hmm.
I will Thoughtseize you. Go to 13. Ooh, that's pretty good. Kind of feel like I'm locked into taking the Ojutai's command in case he hits a land. So then I can't. Yeah, if he hits a land, although he's, I don't know, maybe I should just let him get back a Harbinger of the Tides. Yeah, I'll actually take Short Pressure Elemental. That way he's less likely to turn on his, and I'm going to attack you for 2.
13.
And I think I'm just going to say go.
Upkeep, we're going to scry 1.
Yep.
I'm going to keep that.
Sure.
So I'll draw. So I have to imagine that he has some kind of removal spell here. Probably a Bile Blight to kill off both of my Harbingers. So I can command to put a Harbinger back into play, bounce his token, activate my Thassa, and attack his Liliana. But then he has a Bile Blight. I think that I probably just want to attack the Liliana for 3 this turn. Yeah, he wouldn't have. Yeah, I'll attack the Liliana for 3.
Okay.
I think I still just want to let him Bile Blight here. That way I get his threat off of the board. And gaining 4 life doesn't really do much. Since he can't, this only gets non-legendary creatures back, right?
It does, yep.
Right, so you can't put the other Liliana in play. So I think that I want to just gain 4 life here. So if I draw a card, you're just going to make me discard it with the Liliana. Yeah, so I'll gain 4 and put the Harbinger in play.
Sure.
And bounce your Sand Black.
Sand Black is down.
So that's 17. And I'll pass the turn.
I'll violate those two.
Yep.
Alright, untap. Draw for turn. It's a good one. I'll Sign and Blood myself. 11. 1, 2. Those are not good draws, though. We'll both discard his Swamp.
Yep.
And then I'll play Liliana. And say go.
Alright. Well, Fairy Miscreant into Shore Crash Elemental would be great. We'll scry.
Yep.
And we're going to bottom that. I'll draw. Oh, baby.
Shore Crasher Elemental?
No. That would have been real good. But it is this.
That's kind of good.
Yeah. What do we have over there? So you're going to be able to get back a Bloodsoaked Champion when you attack with your Liliana. I haven't made a land drop yet. I think that I want to attack the Liliana. So I can attack the Liliana, which makes it so they can go to 6. So that next turn, if I draw a 1 or a 2 mana creature to turn on Thassa, I can give Thassa unblockable and be able to kill his Liliana, which I think is worthwhile.
Okay, down to 4.
Go ahead.
Alright, untap. We'll draw. Perfect. That was what we wanted to draw.
That was a Merciless Executioner.
It is an Erebos' Titan.
It's kind of big.
He is big. We will plus our Liliana, so both players discard. I'll attack, so I go to 13, you go to 15.
Yep.
And I will return Bloodsoaked Champion to the battlefield. Your turn.
Alright, I'll scry. And I think that I bottom this. And we'll draw. Harbinger would be nice here.
That'd be pretty good.
Yeah. Didn't get it. We'll scry.
Sure.
And I'm going to bottom this. And I think that we have to try and draw something here. So I'll hit you for 1.
12.
Trigger the bite into a
Sure.
drop card. And I'll pass the turn.
Okay.
So
Alright.
from Screw to Flood and then die.
Untap, draw. Well, we'll just plus our Liliana here. Discard a Thoughtseize. And attack.
Yeah, I gotta take it.
Take 9 down to 6, and I go to 14.
Yep.
And I'm pretty sure I can't do anything, so I'll say go.
Alright, so upkeep will scry.
Liliana is threatening ultimate, though.
Alright, this is probably just what we were looking for, so we'll leave that on top.
Okay.
And I'll draw a card.
That's pretty good.
Play a Shore Crasher Elemental. Now, I can actually just make all of your creatures attack next turn, which is pretty sweet. But I don't really want to trade off this Fairy Miscreant for anything. But do I want to... I don't really care. Like, I don't want to draw a card, basically. So, we're just going to attack the Lily for 1.
Okay, she's down to 7.
And I'll pass. So I need you to not draw a removal spell.
Draw. Okay. Go to combat.
Alright, well in your attack step, we're going to make all your creatures attack.
Okay. You go down to 4.
You go to 16.
Yeah. So these die. I go to 16. I will. Let's play a land and.
-4 for the Titan.
Yeah, -4 for the Titan back in.
Man, Ojutai's command putting a creature in play lets you trigger your Titan. There's like always going to be something, I think, in almost every matchup.
Yeah, maybe I should not discard a card for that reason, or not just hold on to excess lands. But go ahead.
All right, so here's a Peep we're going to scry.
Yep.
And we'll bottom that. And draw a card. Exactly what we wanted. It's actually not bad because now we can exile and then Megamorph if we want to. But I think that and I'm at 4.
Yep.
Well, we definitely want to kill the Liliana this turn. So I think what we'll do is we'll just make this indestructible, or this unblockable.
Okay.
And we'll send this at Liliana, and I think that I also want to send the Miscreant at you. How many Sign and Bloods have you used?
2.
2? Alright, so if I don't leave this back and I brick on this draw, then I'm dead to a Sign and Blood. But I think I'm fine with that. So we'll send this at Liliana and this at you.
Okay.
So you go to 15.
Yep.
And I'll draw a card.
Yep.
And we just drew the perfect card.
Whew.
Trigger 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
That is wow, that's about as good as it gets.
Good.
Draw. Well, that is the 4th copy of that card. I think I'm just dead, but I'll play this and attack with this.
What else do you have in there?
3 Lilianas.
Yeah, so this will trigger. You'll get a 2/2. And you'll have the same number of blockers, but none of them will have lifelink, so I'll block with my Thassa.
Okay, so this dies, this triggers, flips into this, and I get a zombie. Make us both discard a card, and then bring back Bloodsuck Champion. Go ahead.
You're at 15?
Yep.
Scry. I'm actually going to bottom that. So I don't think that I need it here. I definitely don't need that either. So you can't block this. I can make these 3 unblockable. Which is 4, 9, 10, 12. Yeah. I'll make these 3 unblockable and send everything I am.
Yeah, I'm dead. Yep. All right, we're back for the second game, and I am up first, and this hand's really kind of gross, but I think I'm gonna keep it.
Yeah, this hand isn't insane. Because of the mulligan rules, I think that this hand is perfectly fine to mulligan. But I like this card on the draw, and we have lands to get to these cards, so I'm just going to go ahead and keep.
Alright, I'm just going to start with the Thoughtseize.
Oh, darn it.
And I'm pretty sure that Thassa is just a giant problem for the way our hand looks, so I'm going to take your Thassa.
Perfect.
Go ahead.
Sure you don't want to take like this Mana Confluence instead? Alright, so we draw Just what we wanted. All right, we're going to scry, and we want to hit a spell. But I don't think we want to hit that spell, so I'm going to put that on the bottom.
Draw. Alright, well, that's not what we want to see. You're up.
Oh, it's not bad. I don't think that we want to like try and get our beat down on though. So we'll just play this and then pass.
Go.
No Liliana? Alright, so we draw a card. Alright, I'm gonna fetch.
Did you draw another Thassa?
Maybe.
I really hope you didn't.
No, I didn't, because there's only 3 in this deck. I am gonna let this guy get killed though. I'll play a morph.
Sure, that's fine.
And then pass.
Draw. I'll just murderous cut that thing.
So much value.
Go.
You really have nothing else to do?
I have, yeah. Well, I have not drawn a spell this game, we'll say that much.
Alright, well, I think that we just play this.
Sure.
Go ahead.
Go. I'll take 4. 14.
I'll fetch. I'll cast Dragonlord Ojutai.
Sure.
And then I'll pass.
Alright, I really need to draw a removal spell this turn. It's not a removal spell. I think I'm just dead.
You just have nothing to do with this Ojutai.
I mean, I just drew my first spell of the game, but it's this.
Oh, wow. Despoiler of Souls.
I don't think doing this is right, so I'll say go.
Fortunately, I can't save my Ojutai with this, its opponent. But
That's true.
alright, well, I feel like we're not going to win this game if we sit back on this Ojutai.
I'll take 9. That's 5.
Trigger.
Yep.
I guess we'll just take that. Since it was 2 copies of the spell and then a land. Good.
And we completed it. I kept these 3 spells. Alright, we're back for sideboarding. For me, I'm going to be cutting Sidisi's because I think that Archfiend is better against him. It has flying, and so it gets around a lot of his stuff. And like Sidisi just kind of gets gummed up on the ground a lot. And I think that Archfiend gets around it and also can keep things like Master of Waves in check and can, you know, keep his devotion down. Maybe keep Thassa from being turned onto a creature. And then I'm going to bring in...
She also just can't attack through a Thassa if it's turned on, so...
What's that?
She also can't attack through Thassa.
Yeah, Sidisi can't attack through Thassa, yeah. And then I'll bring in some more removal spells. I'm going to cut the Executioners because they seemed really weak against his 1/1s for 1 and Master of Waves and things like that. And then I'm going to cut 2 Lilianas because we're cutting a lot of the cards that play with Liliana. And I didn't think that Liliana was that impressive against you anyway. So
yeah, like you had one activated like almost that entire game and it just didn't do much.
Yeah, I just like I had nothing to bring back with it, and yeah, it just kind of sat there. So
yeah. As for myself, I'm gonna cut the 4 Master of Waves, since from my understanding that's what the blue devotion decks used to do against like the mono black devotion decks back in the day, because of all the black removal. I'm not sure if it's still correct or not, but that's where we're gonna start with. I'm also gonna cut the Hall of Triumph, since this type of card just usually isn't very good if their goal is to kill every one of my creatures. I'm bringing in the 2 Dissolves and 2 Negates as just ways to counter important spells. And then I'm also going to bring in the Icefall Regent just as a... it's just another card that makes it so it's taxing on them to get rid of it. I can lock down something like Erebos' Titan, and it's just another flyer.
Yep, that makes sense. I've actually changed my mind, and I think I'm going to just cut all the Lilianas and keep the Sidisi's. So we'll see how that rolls. So
Fair enough.
all right, we're back for game 3, our first sideboard game, and I am up first. And this hand's not phenomenal, but I'm going to keep it.
Well, this hand reminds me a lot of my hand from game 2. And I felt like that hand was keepable. I'm going to keep this hand too. Wish I was on the play instead of the draw, but we're going to be fine.
Okay, start with this and say go.
I'm a screen and pass.
Sure. I will sign and blood myself. And I'll say go. Those are decent ones to draw off that sign and blood.
Alright, so we'll battle you for 1.
17.
We're going to scry, see if we can get a good one. And yet again, this is just the wrong spot for this card, so we're going to bottom it. And we'll play our Siren and pass.
Alright, we'll start with the Thoughtseize.
You get Thassa or Ojutai?
I think we're going to take the Thassa.
You think?
Yeah.
And this was my opener, and I've just like drawn lands for every draw step.
And I will,
So you're at 15?
to spoil it up, you're up.
Well, the fact that you don't have Lilianas in your deck anymore helps this plan of trying to beat you down. Alright, draw. Thassa? Opposite of Thassa.
There is no opposite of Thassa.
Battle for 2.
13.
Go ahead.
Alright. I will probably start by attacking with this.
17.
And I'm going to play a 5/5.
Sure.
Go ahead.
Alright. I'll take a Bident of Thassa. It's the opposite of Bident of Thassa. Attack for 1.
12.
Go ahead. I think at this point we want to chump that Titan. He doesn't have trample, right?
It's not a trample. I'm going to attempt to ultimate price your Hypnotic Siren.
Yeah, it's dead.
And I'll attack.
Take 8. 8 or 9.
Alright. You're at the old 9. And I'll say go. Sure.
Your turn.
I'll ultimate price your Fairy Miscreant.
It's dead.
Oh, it's dead. Draw. Oh, send them both.
I'll block your Despoiler of Souls.
Okay, so
We'll go
you
to 4.
go to 4. I'll sign and blood myself to 10. Thoughtseize.
I've just drawn nothing but lands.
Alright, I'm at 8. Your turn.
Alright, I'll take a Dissolve or a Negate.
Seems good.
Oh. I mean, I guess you would have to have Murder's Cut to kill this guy, right? Draw a card. Combat.
Alright, I'll attempt to Murderous Cut.
I drew the Dissolve.
You scumbag. Sure.
Scry.
Yep.
Off the Dissolve. We're going to bottom that one.
Alright, take 5 down to 3.
Alright, trigger Ojutai. It's going to be 3 lands, watch.
As long as it's not a Harbinger.
Bounce your guy.
Alright.
I'll play Temple and Scry.
Unreal.
I'll top that and pass.
Unbelievable. Draw.
It was 2 lands and a Harbinger, too. The good news is that it was the middle card.
Go ahead.
And you're at 3.
Yep. Not one.
Alright, so if you had Languish, you would have just cast it there. Oh, this guy can live through Languish anyways. Good.
He can indeed live through Languish. I really need to draw a swamp. It's the opposite of a swamp.
You mean a non-swamp?
It is a non-swamp. Yep, I'm dead. Game number 4. Let's see if we can do something. Alright, well, this hand is 6 lands Thoughtseize, so I'm going to mulligan.
Well, you get to scry now.
I do.
And I think I guess I just have to mulligan this hand. As much as I don't really want to. But at least I get to scry.
Alright, we are both on 6 here. And I'm definitely keeping the 6.
I'm on the draw, and I get to scry. Don't know if that's going to be good enough. If this was an island, I think I can easily keep this, but because it's a mana confluence, I'm kind of stuck. Yeah, I'm going to go to 5. Alright, best 5. It's perfect. Told you this Plains is just the best card in my deck. Alright, we're going to snap keep this one.
Alright, I will scry and... Huh. It's actually a really tough one. I think I have to bottom it at this stage of the game, though.
Right, and I get to scry as well.
Yep.
And every time I've seen this, I've bottomed this card 4 times now with my scries. Maybe I should side the 3rd one out.
Go ahead.
Just the best. Scry. Tap. Go ahead.
Lucky. I'll play the spoiler. Your turn.
Go ahead.
Draw. We'll attack.
17.
We'll just spoil it up. You're up.
Right, I'm not going to fetch because I would like to draw another island. I'll fetch.
Alright, you're at 16.
The bad thing is I'm going to bounce this to spoiler. And then you're still going to be able to just kill it and then play your despoiler again. Go ahead.
Alright, untap, draw. Yeah, we'll go ahead and Bioblight your Harbinger. 3, play the other despoiler.
13.
There we go. So you're at 12?
Yeah, I'm going to play that guy.
Sure.
Good.
Draw.
So,
It's on both.
Alright, I'll look. I'll make it my 2/4.
I'll Bioblade him before damage. So you go to 9. And I'll pass the turn. Sure.
Go. I'll block 1.
Okay, take 3 down to 6. Play the Titan. Here we go. Biden.
Yeah, Biden attack.
Okay, so I go to 15.
Alright, so I think that I want to draw a card first.
Sure.
And then Ojitai. That's not bad. We'll take this one. Play a land and bounce that guy. Go ahead.
Thoughtseize you.
Damn it.
I'll take your Ogetize command out of 13. Let's give all creatures -4/-4. And I'll put you down to 5. Your turn.
Thoughtseize is a fun card, ain't it? Ain't it?
Brick. Alright. Erebos is tight. We got one. We got a game.
Alright, back for the last game. I get to be on the play. See if we can get a good one. 3, 4, 5, 6. Island. Well, we only have 1 land, and so we got a mulligan.
Alright, I have an even mix of lands and interactive spells. Great.
Alright, I get to start on 6.
2 islands, 4 fairy miscreants.
Okay. This hand is actually fine. So I will keep this hand. And
Sure.
we get to scry.
You do get to scry.
I kind of hope I bottom this. Damn it.
Have to top it? What a waste.
Go.
Oh, wow. What a double waste. I will Thoughtseize you. Wow. Huh. So that's a thing. Oh, I think I take a Shore Crasher Elemental. And you're up. I think I'm going to get danced on this game, though. Yep.
Go. Beat down.
I think it's pretty unlikely that he plays a second dancer into the first one. So I'm just gonna bottle it. Go. That way you can't like negate it or something.
Well, that's a good draw. Go.
Oof.
I think that's better than just morphing this Stratus Dancer. I want to hit lands to get this Regent in play.
Alright, I'll begin my attempt to despoil you of your notions.
Right. Up top, I'll draw it.
Sure. Sure.
I'll scry. And yeah, I'll keep that card's actually very good.
Okay.
Good.
I don't think. Alright, I didn't think I'd already drawn. Hope not.
Well, you have how many cards? 5, 6. So 8, 9, 10, 11. This is turn 4, 7, 11. Yeah, you're good.
Okay. Attack you.
17.
And the Titan. Go.
Yep. Scry.
Remember the Titan.
Tap, we'll draw a card.
That one's pretty good.
Go ahead.
Although, thankfully, Thassa is still not more than she looks. Yeah, let's see. You can actually make that guy a 2/4. So I'll send just the Titan because I don't actually want him to be able to do that. I don't know if he would block, but I'm assuming he probably would. So.
I'll go to 12.
Alright, and old Big Daddy, Archfiend of Depravity, here you go. Let's make it really hard for him to play that Icefall Regent.
Scry. I'm going to put this on the bottom. Draw a card. Sure.
So Archfiend of Depravity seems like it's going to be really hard to beat.
I'll attack with the Short Crusher Elemental.
Interesting. Yeah, so if I block here, you can just pump and trade with the Archfiend, so no blocks. Spoiler cannot block. I'll go to 15, 12, 15.
Go ahead.
Alright, so he can flip his thing which would turn Thassa on, allowing Thassa to block. So that is something to be extremely mindful of. But I'm still going to go to combat. Attack you with all of my creatures. Alright. Prior to the blocking phase, I would like to attempt to force that creature to pay the ultimate price.
That's dead.
Yep. And I'm in. Sure. And I will...
If you have another remove spell, just act.
Yeah, I do.
Sure.
I have a cut.
I'm just dead.
Alright, so was able to fortunately salvage a couple games at the end there to stop the complete skunking. But I don't know, I thought it was an interesting match.
For sure.
This deck was a little clunkier than I was hoping. Some of the cards didn't seem like they really played. Like, I never got to activate Despoiler Soul's ability, and I think maybe I just don't have enough creatures in my deck for that to be a thing.
Yeah, I think that Despoiler is going to be very good in a deck that has like 8 1-drops to go along with it, and more 2-drops than just the Despoiler.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure what that deck looks like.
Yeah.
It probably isn't a Liliana deck, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, it could be. You can bring back your 1-drops with Liliana or whatever.
Yeah. Although it is kind of cool that like you can remove your Lilianas to bring back the Despoiler when you're like using them to flip each other.
Yeah.
It's kind of awkward that Lily can't bring back other legendary creatures, although I understand why you don't really want to just like chain them into each other.
Yeah, it'd be like kind of weird to just like chain Lilianas back and forth over and over again.
Yeah.
Erebos' Titan was just a big guy. I mean, he seemed good though. Like, there was a situation in game 4 that didn't come up but could have come up where I actually had Languish, and I could attack into your guy, you block, and then I cast Languish, and now my creature would become a 1/1 with 3 points of damage on it, but because the Languish would kill all of your creatures, it would be indestructible and not die.
That's kind of cool.
So there are some cool things you can do with that, and it's something that I had actually never even thought about until that happened. So that's actually like a pretty cool thing you can do with Erebos' Titan is like, you know, maybe you attack and they, you know, block with a 3/3, or even they block with like, they block with like a 3/3 and then you get to cast Languish and kill everything, or even if they block with like, you know, something that has low
4/4.
Yeah, 4/4, even something with low power, high toughness. Like I don't really know, you know, what's out there, but maybe there's like, you know,
Cami of Old Stone.
Yeah, some sort of like, you know, 3/6 type creature or whatever, and you can just kill everything and save your guy. So that's kind of an interesting thing. Trying to think of what other.
I definitely felt like the deck was missing Grey Merchant, just to give you some sort of reach.
Maybe.
So like I know you were wanting to build something a little different than a Grey Merchant deck, but like the amount of times that you're going to have like Despoiler and Titan into play, or even just one or the other, means that Grey Merchant's going to be pretty sweet.
Yeah, I think Grey Merchant would probably be better than Sidisi. Although Archfiend of Depravity was actually extremely impressive, and I know that this is a matchup where he's going to be good because you don't really have removal spells, but that card was just like whenever I played it. I mean, other than that one game where I had trade with it immediately, but like I just felt like when I played this card that you were just like I couldn't conceive of a situation where you were able to win because it's just impossible for you to ever keep your Thassa turned on.
Yeah.
Either you are sacrificing the Thassa if it is a creature, or you're sacrificing one of the 2 creatures that turns it into a creature, and you either have to like chain a creature every single turn to keep it on, or just like basically lose your Thassa. So Archfiend seemed really impressive. It's also really great against Devotion decks. It's actually a card that I could very conceivably see, you know, just as a main deck card for this deck. Another option that I was thinking about was playing I guess playing a bunch of fetch lands. I guess it's just Bloodstained Mire's the only one, or is there another
Pluto
one?
Delta.
Pluto Delta, yeah. You can play Bloodstained Mire and Pluto Delta, and you can have access to Gurmag Angler. And you can play like Erebos' Titan, Languish, Gurmag Anglers, and just play.
Or like Tasigur or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I think. Well, I mean, if I'm just playing mono black angler, I think it's just
that's
better
true.
than Tasigur. And just play all these creatures that don't die to Languish, and then play Languishes as well. Seems like another reasonable option.
Yeah. Too bad Archfiend's not a 4/5.
Yep, that is a shame. Sidisi is a 4/6 though. Unfortunately, Grey Merchant dies to Languish. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that. Another option too that I thought of that I actually originally was trying to build was green black, with Rakshasa, Death Dealer, Reaper of the Wilds, and Freaka. I think I mentioned that in the deck tech. I think, and you can play Languish in that deck, and if you have like a Reaper, you get to Scribe a bunch of times. Death Dealer is going to die to the Languish unless you have
a bunch of mana,
8 mana, I guess. But
I feel like that type of deck, there's going to be a bit of a clash between wanting to play Titan and Death Dealer, like wanting to have the green mana on turn 2. Obviously, we get the 8 dual lands and the.
I mean, I think you just
waste, but
aren't playing any. You're just
no forest,
you're
12 green duels.
12 green duels, and that's it. Maybe a Confluence or 2 along with Urborg could be a reasonable thing.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't need to. I don't think you need Death Dealer to be much more than like a Putrid Leech. So.
Yeah. As we've seen, that card does not have to be played on turn 2 to be good.
No, it does not.
As for this deck, it seemed pretty sweet. It felt a little clunky. I think that I want less 5-drops.
Yeah.
And something like Silumgar Sorcerer would be good.
Yeah.
Just as a way to interact with our opponent in like the mid game. Plus, is just a 2-power instant flying threat.
I think when you're playing this deck, that I think Silumgar Sorcerer is a must because you have Harbinger and Ojutai's Command, and right now you can sit on 4 mana and do 2 things. If you have Silumgar Sorcerer, you can sit on 4 mana and do 3 things. I know that it kind of overlaps with Ojutai's Command, and that they both counter creatures, but it just seems nice to have a lot of options that you can sit there and do. And, depending on what your opponent does, you can choose one or none or all or whatever.
Yeah, not being able to cast Ojutai's Command effectively in any of the matchups, in any of the games seemed kind of weird, but the threat of it was always very, very good.
It did get thought seized a couple times too.
Yeah, like you just have to take it every time you see it.
Yeah.
Which is pretty sweet. I'm not sure if it's ultimately better than Collected Company in this deck, but it just gives you a different angle. I mean, maybe you could just not play Ojutai and play Company and Ojutai's Command.
You could, yeah. I mean, that seems pretty greedy on the mana, but
I mean, you just don't play fetches, and then you just have a bunch of different dual lands coming to play tap lands or whatever.
Yeah, I'm not sure that you want. I don't know how many coming to play tap lands you want though. Like,
you could probably get by with 4 or 6.
Yeah.
It's definitely a thought. Collected Company is a very, very powerful card in this strategy. So
yeah, I actually think that. Well, I think that this is actually the best deck that uses Collected Company because you don't really have spells. So you just Collected Company is like your only spells in the deck pretty much.
Yeah.
So you actually have creatures to hit. Some of the other decks that are playing Company are playing like Valor Stance, Tremoka's Command, all these other cards that their companies are just so much worse. And they're also hitting things like Elvish Mystics or Den Protectors that aren't that exciting.
Yeah.
Whereas this deck, even if it's hitting like Fairy Miscreants, you're still providing devotion for Master of Waves and Thassa. So
and
really,
you might even draw some cards.
You might even draw some cards. So really, just hitting almost any creature is fine, and it has a higher chance of hitting creatures too.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, this is definitely a deck that I can see myself working on, along with the Elf deck that we played last week. That seemed pretty sweet too. This weekend is the pre-release, so make sure you check out your local game stores pre-release, or if you're in the Roanoke, Virginia area, come check us out here. We talked about the Magic Meowigens playmat at the beginning of the video. Make sure you check that out. If you're interested in it, you do get it for free just for playing, which is pretty sweet.
It is sweet, yeah.
For those of you who are watching on YouTube and not on StarCityGames.com, make sure you check out some of those panels underneath our faces to see some previous BBD versus CVMs. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel and let us know what you want to see in the comments. We actually had a lot of feedback from last week of people wanting to see Erebos' Titan in decks. I saw this deck in the article that Mark Nestico wrote, and there were actually some people that wanted to see something with Fairy Harbinger, or not Fairy Harbinger, but Merfolk, Harbinger of the Tides, whatever the Merfolk's called.
Yep.
So that's why we went ahead and threw this together. So again, if there's something that you want to see, please let us know. We'll definitely try and put something together so we can battle with it. A lot of people actually have wanted to see like a Mardu Goblins deck after we did the Goblins deck last week.
Okay.
But I think that there's a lot other avenues we could explore outside of another Goblin Pile Driver deck.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool cards to the deck, some of which we actually haven't even really touched on that much. Like, a lot of people don't like Jace, but I think he's actually pretty good. I think
all the Planeswalkers are pretty sweet.
Yeah, I think they're all pretty good. White is a color that we really haven't touched on yet, but now there's Knight of the White Orchid, Kithion, and also Archangel of Tithes. So there's a lot of new powerful white cards as well. There's also some stuff like Starfield and Nyx. So there's a lot of cool options of cards that we haven't really touched on yet, but there could be decks built out of. So yeah, make sure you let us know what you want to see.
There's also some sweet stuff with like Den Protector and Corsive Crewfix and Siege Rhino and
Deathmist Raptor.
Deathmist Raptor. Those are all good cards too, right?
Yeah, Abzan Charm.
I don't like that card.
Really?
No, it's real good.
Get out.
It's one of the few Abzan cards that are just like a 4X in almost all the versions.
Yeah. Do you know what other Abzan cards are 4X in all the versions?
Sandstep Citadel.
Siege Rhino.
All right. Thanks for hanging out this week, guys. We'll see you next week.
See ya.